A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel. And there is a very specific reason why I am doing this channeling specially. Because I understand that a lot of people who are on this journey, especially people who are struggling with the polarized feminine, would like to say even masculines, a lot of men have been going through this. But with men, it's a bit different because, we live in a very patriarchal world. The system of this world is based on patriarchy, and men usually get more importance than women. And there is still some kind of you can say, reformation work going on. And it's not to, put the men and women against each other and say that, masculine is not good, feminine is not good, and this and that. Any which way, in the past so many years, we have seen that men get more importance, more privileges, everything. So for people who are going through work right now, inner work phase will never really go away because ascension is a lifestyle. But those people who are really working on releasing the narcissistic abuse patterns, especially paternal and maternal both. In many cases, we have both. But most importantly, people suffer from maternal narcissism, maximum people, because you are the closest to your mother. In the twin flame journey, Mother's Day or family holidays usually bring a lot of pain. Even during Valentine's Day and these type of celebrations or these type of days that are widely spoken about in the materialistic reality, three-dimensional reality. Most twin flamers go through a lot of trouble during this time because they don't have the same emotion like other people. And sometimes they get frustrated, sometimes they get angry, sometimes, old emotions crop up, how they were not loved and how they were compared or neglected by the same person who gave birth to them. They were never the first priority, never the first choice. They did not get any support, encouragement. If they did get support and encouragement, that was purely because at that point in time they were useful. A lot of people in the twin flame journey have experienced the infamous discard, where they were discarded by people who were very close to them when they were not needed or when they felt they were not useful. And this discard is something that they replicate as a pattern. This is a pattern which they see in their relationships also. And usually it does not happen, when they are in a confused situation or in a toxic relationship, which could even get abusive. This discard usually happens when they are in love, when they are happy, when they see a future. And the moment they express themselves, the moment they say anything, they speak the truth or they just share their opinion, there seems to be some kind of a situation that arises that leads to separation, pain. It's literally like they cannot say anything or they cannot even be themselves. And that's the biggest problem that maternal narcissism causes in most people, is that you have a hard time being who you are, even if you could be amazing, brilliant, talented, beautiful. Lot of adjectives I can give to such people, but they lack the basic emotion is acceptance. They don't have the acceptance, so they have a tough time in being who they are. Okay. It's very sad actually. It's very sad because this is also connected to your sacral chakras, the Swadhisthana. In my area of work also, basically my job is to help people get awakening, full awakening. Full awakening is something which is not in my hands obviously, but we try in that area so that you can awaken with the help of someone using hand holding. The therapies are also designed in such a way with assignments, with personal sessions, and you would see that the therapies are charged at very low prices, especially with the amount of things we offer. Why? Because I understand, I've been there in that situation. I know how it feels. But the most important part is that you're stepping up, you're stepping out from your zone of feeling unworthy, incapable, incomplete, all of that. So we speak a lot about, motivation, self-motivation, get up and do this, go get it, do it, and this and that. We hear it a lot, which is again very important, because if you're not going to do something, you're not going to work on yourself, you're not going to make any efforts, then obviously it will never work out. So Swadhisthana means where your being is established. Swa means self and Adhisthana means establish. So the sacral chakra is the second primary chakra according to Hindu Tantrism or Hindu, I don't know where this word Tantrism came from, but Sanatan Dharam document and text are so vast and they're so full of information and they are so accurate and authentic. So this chakra is usually gets blocked by fear, especially the fear of death. Okay. It also gets blocked when you have codependency or you get overwhelmed by your emotions. In sexual fantasy also, if you have overindulgence, it will block it. Sacral chakra is also connected to constant fear of betrayal. So people who always fear that they will get betrayed somehow or they have gone through betrayal. So why this feeling of betrayal is or getting betrayed is so strong in people, some of the people, especially in the twin flame journey, is because they are betrayed by someone who is most important to them. And for a child, it's not like big things you need in your childhood. Big things are not required. Small things, are required. So if your mother doesn't listen to you at all, she doesn't accept you as who you are, she gives you too many chores, too much of the work that adults are supposed to do, and she promises things to you but she never does it, or she keeps her own pain, suffering, or even her joy, some other thing that she likes to do, she keeps it as number one priority. So basically everything is about her and nothing is about you. Okay, when that happens a lot and it happens constantly, and on top of that, if the child comes up to the mother and even wants to share about a simple thing that, Mom, I saw the butterfly. Look, Mom, I saw a butterfly. And she would say, yeah, whatever. Just go away. Just do whatever. Play, study, leave. Or sometimes the mother is physically very abusive on things that the child is not wrong about. The child only wants attention and affection, and the child only wants to be accepted. And if the mother has a lot of issue with the child's nature, see, not every mother and child are same, and this is the reason why many people in the twin flame journey go through shame, guilt, because they are suffering because they did not get enough nurturing, enough love, and they cannot even go and talk about it, because if you go and talk about it to normal people, to other people, especially the people who are asleep, they will look at you like you're some criminal and they will say, hey, how can you speak like this about your own mother or your own father? Don't you have any shame? Don't you have any gratitude that they gave birth to you? They brought you to this world, and today, whatever you are, it's because they gave birth to you. So I have to say this, that there are a lot of people who get born every single day, every second, every minute. There are billions of people on this planet because somebody is getting born and somebody is getting reproduced by somebody. So it's like not a big deal that so many people are getting born. Then we see so many destitutes and we see so many discarded children. We see so many beggars on the streets who are children. There is so much lack of food. There is hunger everywhere. There are children abuse stories, child abuse stories, sexual abuse is there. Children are getting abused, raped, molested. So this is because people want to close their eyes towards the truth. People don't want to be open and present that the children on this planet are suffering, and they are obviously suffering because of bad parenting, and they are also suffering because the whole world does not know about parenting as such. Most people don't know about parenting, and even when they are not mature themselves, they are still, growing up. The society wants them to reproduce and give birth to them. And nature also has designed the body of men and women in such a way that at a certain time you hit puberty, and after that you are capable of giving birth. The hormonal influences, obviously, and the puberty and lack of sex education on this planet, lack of acceptance overall in this planet, everything just leads to more and more children who are confused and mentally sick because they are being raised by people who are themselves not grown up. Nowadays, at least in the metropolitan cities or very fancy places, you don't expect women to give birth to children that early. But there was a time when the woman's primary job was to give birth to children. She was simply good for reproduction. Like I said, even nature expects all people to just reproduce, and especially if you are a woman, your job is to just give birth to as many children as you can. That will make nature happy. But we don't work only in the principles of nature, we also work under the principles of consciousness. And my master says very nice thing, that nature cannot forgive. The nature can only punish and reward. You do something good for the nature, she will reward. In fact, in a very selfless way also. Like if you grow a lot of trees, you may not yourself get the benefit from the trees, but a lot of people will get oxygen, fruits, shade, a good temperature, balance in the temperature, climate, a lot of things. And it's not even directly coming to you, but some people still do it. Some people go and clean the beaches, some people go and clean the forest, some people go and clean the lakes, some people are just trying to serve Mother Nature as much as they can because she's in pain. But what does Mother Nature want? If you don't take care of Mother Nature, she will punish everyone. Just the way when you do something good, it will help everyone. If there is not much vegetation on this planet, soon it will get destroyed. But it is God who can forgive, and it is Source who can forgive and who can also protect us from the anger and from the pain and from everything that we are going through right now. And many people are going through, like this pandemic happened and so many people died. Some of the people may be very innocent, they probably were good people, were nice people, but they died because they had a strong programming of fear. Fear is the same thing which leads people to be worried about shelter, food, overall existence on this planet. So a lot connects with the mother and the child relationship. If you don't have a healthy relationship with your mother, or if you feel that she has neglected you, she ignores you, she doesn't love you, she's not there for you, and sometimes you feel that your expectation is valid because that's how human society is. Like children who don't get enough hugs and kisses usually get molested as a child, and the same child may have other siblings who don't get molested, who don't get raped, or who don't go through crisis, who have better relationships with other people. So when you compare in the same family, you compare two people, like you have your two siblings, one sibling is emotionally stressed out, the other is not. You can see that the one who's stressed out usually will not have a great relationship with their biological mother and father, and the other one, say even if this person doesn't have a great relationship with the father, even if you have a great relationship with your mother is loving towards you, protective towards you, caring towards you, she's always there for you, you will have a much better relationship, partnerships, and you will be always supported by other people, even if you're a narcissist. So narcissism is a scary thing actually, but when a non-narcissist, like an empath who's been suffering at the hands of narcissist, looks at the narcissistic people around them, they feel that at least they have each other to take care of, they have a group, they hang out in a group, they're always together, they can bully others together, they can love others together, they are together. There's this whole feeling of, there is a bunch of people who are with each other. Whereas the empath, the discarded empath, doesn't feel the same way. The discarded empath constantly feels like he or she is against somebody, invisibly or visibly also, and they have a lot of issues with people because of that, because the issue is an internal issue actually. The internal issue is of fear. The internal issue, the most important thing that a human being needs is, as I said, acceptance, closeness. Somebody who can just make them feel loved and protected. And that training is actually given to the mind during really early years. Okay, so your mind is told certain things again and again, and that you get by affectionate touch, hugs and kisses by a birth mother. Even if you don't have a birth mother and you're very lucky, I know such cases where your birth mother may have abandoned you for whatever XYZ reasons, but you were so fortunate that you were raised by a very loving family who took care of you very deeply, and they were very endearing towards you, very compassionate towards you. They never even made you feel that you're adopted or, you're somebody else's child, but we took you in. And at the same time, we also see cases of abuse happening when these children are taken in by other people. Some other people, decide to raise them, and they only end up abusing them. I know of this very painful story of a girl whose mother basically gave her away to some other family members, hoping that she would get a better life financially. So she goes abroad with her new family, the one who adopted her, and they are also like relatives only, but they adopted her. They said, okay, we'll take in this child because you have so many to take care of, or you can't take care of her, so we'll take care of her. But when they take the child home, they basically make the child wash all the dishes, clean the house, take care of all the other siblings. So on the pretext of taking care of a child, they're basically getting a servant. And that servant's job is to take care of everyone to a level that even the label of servant is not there. There is no salary. So you're basically working for free. And I was told by the same girl, the same person, that when she grew up, as soon as she started growing up, she had to get a job and she had to give all the money that she earned to the mother who raised her, who was not her biological mother. After a number of years, she finally located her birth mother and she met her and she asked her, and she could see that the mother had not abandoned her siblings. And it really hurt her, because how much would it have costed the mother or the father to look after this child? So there are many unfortunate cases like this, and I can go on and on and on. I recently found out about another very horrific case, very sad case, where a child, a boy, lost his parents, and the mother raised him to a number of years, not that long though, maybe he was 3 or 4 or 5, and then, he went from one family to another. Eventually a father figure, someone who took him in as a child, he did not know, okay, he was just very happy to be taken in by a family. So the person who was supposed to be the father was sexually abusing him for many years. And he didn't even know it. He didn't know that a father-son relationship is not supposed to be like this, because overall he was a good caretaker, taking care of his needs and sending him to school and all those things. But inside, in secrecy, he was sexually involved with the same boy. Obviously, when such boys and girls, when they grow up, and this is sexual abuse, then there is, as I said, making them to do house chores, treating them like a servant basically. Then there are some people who treat their child, the empathetic child, as literally someone who is supposed to be everything for them. Provider, nurturer, money-making machine like an ATM. And all these people, somehow they get discarded, or when they find out the truth, how they were betrayed by someone who was supposed to take care of them, it really hurts them. To see a biological mother, father, or a stepmother, father, or someone who adopted them. So I'm not going to talk about the happy cases today. I know there are many happy cases and you can go look at them on the internet. Today I want to address these type of cases, because there is so much pain in the twin flame community regarding this matter. Now, if you want to get a personal session, hand-holding, not one session, I mean a therapy, a full course, then you can book narcissistic abuse-related therapy, paternal and maternal narcissism. You can book that therapy. It has 4 sessions and huge amount of work that we put into it. And all the people who are going through this, at least they are aware that this is what they want to work on. And let me tell you, the biggest reason why you don't have happy relationships, especially you don't have a person in your life, or you feel the lack of a person, or just people in general who support you, is because of this reason. This is one of the most difficult block. This is one of the most difficult situation therapy that I have to do. Sometimes one therapy is not even enough. But then, yeah, people start feeling changes after the first therapy itself, so they continue the therapy. And because later on, the more therapies we do, then we start shifting to the world of metaphysics. We go very deep and deep and deep, Once I feel that, yes, this person has sort of dealt with this situation and faced that they were not getting accepted, and now they are supposed to accept themselves. Like nobody else is going to accept them. They have to accept without the help of birth mother's love and affection. And this is a painful thing to accept. And then slowly and gradually you realize that you need to, forgive, you need to forget, you need to move on, and you need to continue walking, There will be days the narcissistic mother or father will come back to you, love you, and you will be very surprised by the amount of interest they are showing in you. But then again, they always do this when they themselves are insecure, or when they feel wrong that they discarded you little before time. Like they thought that you would not do well in life. They thought that you will be poor person on the streets, or they would just look at you like a liability, like a responsibility. And this happens usually during the dark night of the soul, during the longest separation, advent of long separation, I would say. Because that is the time a person is in very low energies. Actually, they are physically also very sick at that time. They are very unwell. Either they have lost a lot of weight, a considerable amount of weight, or they have gained a lot of weight, or they're just in their room, or they're just not communicating much. Financially, they are in very poor state. Everything is warped about them at that time. And this is the only time in their whole life where they need to be accepted. They need to be hugged by someone they believe in. They need to be heard, their stories. And usually, till the time the narcissistic mother does not feel the need to discard the child, or she feels that, yeah, this child can serve me, this child is okay to serve me, can make good money or do whatever, it's needed. Till that time, the mother will listen to the child, will hug the child, will probably sleep next to the child every day, will do everything, cook for the child, clean their clothes, like whatever is required. And I'm talking about these chores because usually people think that these are the things that when someone is doing for you, it means they care for you, it means they love you. So they will do every small little thing for the child if the child is useful in their eyes. But as soon as they feel that the child is a liability and will not be useful, even in the childhood, they feel that the child is rebellious by nature, but when they compare the empathetic child with other children, they feel that this child is more sensitive, is a good listener, does not have any demands or very less demands, will do anything you will tell the child, gladly will do the needful types. So they like to keep the child around for their own needs. But they play a very brutal game of silent treatment, neglecting, ignoring, and sharing about their adult problems with the child, like sharing what's happening inside the bedroom of the husband and wife. There are some very lethal things that this child has to go through. All of these children have to go through. But in the same household, even if there is one more sibling or 10 more siblings, like 9 more siblings, it doesn't matter, because the other siblings, if they're not empathetic, they will have a different life. Or if the mother notices or the father notices that this particular child of mine is always at my feet, or this child treats me like God, or this child is crazy about me, mad about me, the mother will be in a better position to train that child for her benefits or for her needs. Most narcissistic mothers are very good in creating the impression that they love you when they need you. When they don't need you, they will not give a damn about you. And most narcissistic people are also very smart in creating their own support system, They are very smart in creating their own gang. They're very smart in creating their own jingbang, their own cheerleaders. They are very good in that. This is not just with narcissistic mother or father. This is with most narcissistic people. They're very privileged. They always create people who like them, who will be around them. But everybody has an expiry date, usually. So they'll always be with newer and newer and newer people. Now with the empath also something similar happens, because it's either the people who discard them, or it's the empath who kind of sees their real faces and they realize that this person doesn't care for me, doesn't love me. This person is not what I have assumed about this person. They are not kind-hearted soul as I was assuming them to be. So sometimes out of sheer disappointment and to protect themselves also they leave. So healthy narcissism is not bad, guys. Healthy narcissism is sort of sense of feeling that you need to take care of yourself and you need to be in a good zone. But unhealthy narcissism is where you are just always using other people for your comfort zone. So creating your comfort zone. So today I want to talk about this subject because today is Mother's Day, and for a lot of twin flamers out here who are still healing themselves, it's a very painful day, and they feel bad about it. Sometimes they have to do certain things like celebrating this day, but inside they are always questioning this relationship. Is it even a real relationship? Why am I doing this? I never got the love that I deserved. I never got the affection, even the kindness that I deserved. When I was going through a bad time, I was bullied, I was mocked, I went through everything. And if this has happened in a family scenario, where one person is constantly getting bullied, despite they do a lot of good things for others, but they get bullied. And say the mother is present in that situation, but the mother just watches. Sometimes it is the mother who instigates everybody, against this person, because she has a irritation with the empath. See, narcissist and empath, they never go hand in hand. They can never be happy. So when people who are suffering from narcissistic abuse, when they come to me, I have to tell them that you have also knowingly or unknowingly soaked in certain narcissistic qualities, and the empath in you does not like it, because the empath in you is growing. The more inner work you do, the empath in you grows more and more. Okay, so it has to push out the narcissist. So it's not just an inner struggle, because whatever happens within you, it's happening outside also. So during the dark night of the soul, the deep dark night, at that point in time, the empath is literally pushing out, like the butterfly. It's like wanting to create space for itself. It wants to be, in the Swadhisthana. As I said, it's trying to be where the being is established, So it is not related to gender. It is not related to anything else. Most of the time the struggle appears when a person is trying to express themselves in a more genuine, realistic way. And they want to be vulnerable, It's not easy to be vulnerable, but if you are in a vulnerable position, it's always better that way. Vulnerability is one of the biggest strengths, not a weakness. But the main issue is that most such children, constantly they were told in their childhood that they cannot express themselves. So every time they express themselves, even for basic requirements, they were shut off, they were beaten up, they were just simply told to get lost, in a very nice way, or sometimes in a harsh way. Like if they asked for anything they needed, even if it's a pencil, even if it's a notebook, or it could be very situational also, because the family could be going through huge issues, lot of poverty, a lot of problems, and there is a constant message that is being given to the child that you are not accepted, your needs are not accepted, you'll not get what you want. Sometimes we see a lot of wealthy people's children. We notice that they have quite healthy sacral chakra. Why? Because the parents are always giving them whatever they want. The child wants a toy, they'll get the toy. The child wants to go somewhere, they'll take that child somewhere for a vacation. Child wants to buy a scooter, okay, get a scooter. A car, I'm talking about the toys only, gets the car. Nowadays you have cars and scooters that even children can ride, it's battery driven, and it's with a remote and all that. Anyway, so there are so many demands that these children have, or there's so many things that these children want, and the parents immediately give it to them. So it starts bringing them sort of a feeling that they are loved, and they can trust. So whatever they will ask for, they will get it. So when they grow up, whatever they ask for, they usually get it, anything. Even love comes very easily to them because they have so much money. And this world is about money. No money, no honey, Money is very important in the sense that it brings us a lot of resources. But then money also is an energy. And because of all these issues, money does become an important factor in the twin flames' life, because they are constantly told that money is the most important thing, and even they are valued more when they have money. So they realize that when I have more money, when I am doing something in my life which is lucrative, everybody loves me, everybody wants to hang out with me. But you have to be better than the other. So it's not easy for the same child who was criticized, who was mocked, who was bullied, who was discarded, to step out from all of that crap, all of that garbage, and flourish into a big huge banyan oak tree or a mango tree, or whatever fruit tree. It's very difficult. So they still do it, they still have to do it, they still have to somehow manage, thinking that their nourishment does not come from the biological people around them. Their nourishment comes from source, from God, from masters. So that's when when the Kundalini awakening happens. It is actually happening because of the Mother Kundalini, or the dark Mother Kundalini. She wants her child to grow, and she wants her child to face all the fears. So one of the key fears is obviously the root chakra. Even the meaning of the word Mooladhara means fundamental, basic, most important. That's why Mooladhara is the root chakra, the primary chakra, out of the 7 primary chakras which are within the human body. And this particular word, the message is root of existence. So just the way you need to first of all be rooted, if you want to do anything else, you need to be rooted, you need to be strong in your foundation, in your base. So the 3 bottom chakras are the ones who get affected the most due to narcissism, and it will only be revealed to you when the narcissist in you is going to sleep. As long as the narcissist in you is awakened, wide awake, due to all the training and programming, it will not appear, there will not be any difficulty, because as a narcissist, when a person operates, they usually are also materialistically successful, and they will be that much successful that nobody can raise a finger or point a finger on them. Okay, but once that part of them goes to sleep, for some time it has to go to sleep. It is the most difficult dark night of the soul that happens after the big separation that one person goes through. After some really long-term old relationship where you were extremely strong about, you put in all your heart and soul and your blood and your sweat and everything into it, and if you get betrayed in such a situation, and that after all your attempts is not going to work out, usually this is when the twin flame awakening also happens for many people. They assume it, but twin flame reality was always in you since your birth, since your childhood. The only thing is that it splits into 2. And the only thing, I'm saying it because that's the biggest thing that happens when you split into polarized feminine or masculine. But if you are in your narcissistic energies, it will not be difficult for you to survive in the materialistic world. Usually this problem will happen when you are now living as an empath and you don't care about the materialistic reality as such. But the problem is that to exist on this planet, you have to be, good with these things, like the resource generation. Your resources will be generated, no doubt about it, and you will have a better life, and whatever is happening with you will be for your progress. You will do progress. In fact, you need to compare yourself with your past lifestyle and now in today's lifestyle as you're listening to this channeling, no matter how worse, how bad it has been, but you'll always see that this life of you as an empath is much better because here you are at least real, at least you know what's happening. As a narcissist, you are simply in a limbo state because you're just working on rigid programming that was given to you. You are just there to serve other narcissistic by just being their mirror reflection. And you will be very loved and accepted if you do that. Till the time you do that, it will be okay. But with constant tribulations and trials and this constant push and pull between the empath and the narcissist and constant push and pull while you're doing inner work, while you're trying to be your authentic self and the programming is not letting you do it, you are going to have some days and some nights where you will cry your eyeballs out, asking God or questioning yourself and questioning your life that why couldn't you be loved and why do you get punished for being who you are? Why do you get punished for being vulnerable? Why do you get punished for being emotional? Why do you get punished for speaking your heart out? Why you can't speak your truth? And even if when you speak your truth, it happens when you have kept it bottled up for many days, many months, many years. And one day there is a volcanic eruption. And when you do that volcanic eruption, it's like the other people, they don't want to see your pain. They don't want to see that you're speaking from a point of misery and you've suffered and you've gone through a lot. They don't know that because you have always kept that side hidden from others. Your pain, your sorrow, your misery, you don't share it with others. Like I said, even as a child, the empathetic child is like very less demanding. They will not cry, they will not do drama, they will not go cranky on the streets, they will not be overprivileged, they will just say yes to everything they get. They may not even ask for toys or new clothes or new school uniform, new books or nothing. And on top of this, they will try to help the adults out, the elders out in whatever, even if it's feeding the other babies, taking care of their food, changing their nappies, preparing the meals. I have seen 4, 5, 6-year-olds actually look after their siblings and literally carry them on their waist because the mother has given them the job, and where's the mother? She's just busy in her own world. And usually narcissists are very good in getting sympathy from other people. So it's not just about the mother, it's about the father also. It's both actually. So that's why I said maternal and paternal narcissism, and actually paternal and maternal narcissism are connected with each other. If you have a narcissistic mother, you will surely have issues with the father, especially if the father is empathetic in nature and the mother is narcissistic. And obviously the father is also not in full empathetic energies. It could also be possible that the mother is also a gifted child. She's also empathetic, but she is also being raised by her narcissistic mother. It just goes on and on and on. So you can't really blame anyone. And this is where the problem is. When you don't have literally a specific place to point on, what do? You're going to cry, you're going to feel that, you're not good enough. You are the one with bad luck. And then you look at other people around you, especially the happy materialistic people around you, and you feel that they are socially so secure, they have one another. Why I don't have it? I don't have any friends, I don't have a relationship. Maybe I'm not sure, like whatever is your situation, lack of friends, lack of relationship, lack of meaningful relationship. Actually, that's the thing I would like to say. You may have had tons of relationships, but you need to think like which one was the meaningful relationship, and you'll probably be left with very few or nothing. And you don't have lot of other things going on for you. Like maybe nobody took care of your education, so you only had to earn and pay your own fees or do whatever. So some of the problems will be more of a societal problem, wherein you are coming from a underdeveloped, undernourished society. But then no matter what you say and do, you always look up to your biological birth givers for many reasons. Sometimes people who get adopted, they maybe got adopted by really wonderful parents and the parents took care of them, but they always have this question that who gave birth to me? Can I go and meet my birth mother? Can I go and see her? Can I go and see her? And sometimes they do that. They go look for their birth mother, they find her, and they come back. It's not like the birth mother is going to accept them now. Some of them actually go looking for the birth mother with the hope that, she'll see them and she'll jump with joy. And, they are basically looking for closure. That why was I discarded? Why was I given away? Was I given away because you didn't love me enough? Of course you didn't love me enough. Otherwise, why would you only give me away and not the others, if there are any others? So there are so many questions people have, and despite getting a great upbringing, this one thing always creates trouble in their life in cases where there was great upbringing. Okay? Because this is something which we are fed into. It is given to our system. And just in case your honest parents who adopted you or took you in just happen to tell you that, hey, we are not your biological parents, we adopted you from somewhere, the child is going to get a heartbreak for sure. And I feel that it is actually pointless to share this with this child, like any child. I don't know why sometimes parents who are so wonderful and amazing, who look after the children, why do they have to reveal it to the children like this, especially when the child doesn't need to know, especially if you have adopted the child right at the age when the child was very small. You should not be again and again telling the child that, we adopted you, we took you in, blah, blah, blah. The child should be given a very mature outlook. And yes, if this ring any bell for anyone else, I want to say that this type of search should not be done. I think even the child should be mature enough to accept that, I was given away at the time of birth. Somebody could not take care of me, and there could be 100 reasons why your biological mother could not take you in, could not take care of you. So she decided to give you up. Now, the first half of this video was more like, talking about the problem. But now, as I come towards the end of it, I want to actually come to the solution part of it, the guidance part of it. Because I don't want anyone to be sad on Mother's Day and feel that you don't have a mother, a doting mother, you don't have that mother-daughter bond, or you don't have a mother child connection. If you are a mother yourself and you have gone through this problem, and now when you're raising your children are doing the same thing to you, like they don't like you, they don't want to be close to you, they constantly complain about you, and you're just in so much pain thinking that, I was raised by a narcissistic mother, I never got love, so I thought that I'm going to raise my child, give my child everything, and now that my child is grown up, I still don't have that support. So what has this got to do with me? Why am I in the center of this? So the reason why you are in there, of course, has to do with your childhood upbringing also, but there are so many wounds you have, and these wounds make you feel that if you're going to talk about your pain, if you're going to talk about what you love, if you're going to express yourself, if you're going to be yourself, if you're going to be who you are, then you will not be accepted by society. So think about it. If your mother has passed on this message to you, or your father has passed on this message to you, I'm 100% sure they were also given the same message. And the reason why they don't love you as much, according to what you feel, as much as they love other children, if you have other siblings, or as much as they love other people, is because the other children or the other people are not reflecting the same qualities that you reflect. The sensitivity, the empathy, sometimes oversensitive, but being sensitive is not wrong. Being oversensitive is wrong. Being empathetic is not wrong, but super empaths usually have a harder time. Why? Because they are too empathetic, which means that they are actually too sympathetic. So sympathy and empathy are not the same things. And with time, the inner work that we do with people, and with time, it's very important. Time is the biggest factor in this journey. You need to be very patient, because every time you're going to step into a higher dimension, achieve a milestone, you would be like, okay, I have come till here, maybe now I can relax, but something else will come up. So you need to keep doing this work. Now this is happening with literally the whole world, and the whole world is struggling. You're not the only one who's struggling. Please remember that. You're not the only one who's struggling, but yes, you're more aware about your struggle, about your inner struggle. You want to remove these problems out. So first and foremost, you need to start from forgiving the mother, the father, anyone. Even those people who have sexually abused you, you need to forgive them, and you don't have to take anything they did to you personally, because they are really not doing this only to you or specifically to you because you are you. They don't see you as a soul. They just see you as an identity. And they themselves don't know what they're doing. I'm going to put it this way. Most of them don't know what they're doing. They are not in their right frame of mind or right energies. And they could be doing their best also in some cases. In some other cases, they could be doing their best, but their best is not enough. Because the world is also very brutal. So this is a societal flaw which, forces women to become mothers before time. I think so. They're not ready to be mothers. They're not ready to get married, but they are supposed to do it. And as I said, even nature demands you for the same thing, to reproduce. So they are just doing what, on a core level they were told. And later on, it's just these things, some of these things are not even in their control. So you as an empath, and you as a sensitive person, and you as an awakened soul, an awakening soul, you need to forgive people for what they've done, because they may not even know what they're doing. They might just be protecting themselves. They might just be taking care of themselves. Maybe they discarded you because you were not, helping their case out. They discarded you because you were becoming a problem for them, because they did not know how to handle you. They did not know how to deal with you. Most importantly, they cannot accept you because they don't accept themselves. Maybe they also want to be like you. Maybe they also want to be a more freer person, relaxed person, more source, oriented person, but they can't be, because they feel that, this will not be accepted by other people. They will get boycotted, and maybe they don't see anyone around them like you, or, not so many people are like that, but only when you open up to the higher dimension, only when you step out from your misery, from your old life, then you start connecting with more and more people who are like you. They may be less in number, but who cares about that? Because you are your own support system. And today on Mother's Day, I would like to tell you that you're your own mother, your own father, and this is exactly what you need to do. You need to recreate your own mother in you. And you are the same child as well. So you are the adult, you are the healed adult who's supposed to take care of your healed inner child. And that's how you're going to live your life. So happy Mother's Day to all of you people. And I'm very proud of you if you are doing your inner work. It's not easy to forgive. But at the same time, we need to forgive ourselves also. Sometimes, we are on a blast mode. We just go and blast people. We just say so many things to people which were bottled up inside us, during a fight or during a vulnerable moment. And then there are a few more days coming up full of guilt and, why did I say this? Why did I do that? Why did I open my mouth? So many people in the twin flame journey are facing separation because they spoke their truth to someone who could not take it. So if someone cannot take your truth and you're in a difficult situation which you can't figure out, of course there will always be a solution. There is always a solution of all problems. If you just calm down, you will find a solution. So in this case, I'm going to tell you that look around for people who nurture you. Look around for people who love you. Look around for people who accept you. Even if it's even if it's one, even if it's just your pet who accepts you 100%, it's more than enough. You could be having a teacher who accepts you. You could be in a community like this that accepts you. So it's all about acceptance. You need to accept yourself, and you also need to accept the other narcissist around you, because they are doing what they know and it's not really their fault. Maybe all they're doing is trying to protect themselves from the unknown. They have the fear of unknown. So the 3 chakras, the solar plexus, the sacral chakra and the root chakra, these bottom 3 chakras, you need to fix them, okay? So guys and girls, this is where I'm going to close this session. As I said, you can always get into chakra therapy. You can get into paternal and maternal narcissistic abuse related therapy. You can work on decluttering your life. You can work on so many wonderful things that are here, but it's you who has to take the steps towards your own growth. And people, if you resonate with the channelings, then do let other people know, because there are lots of people in this journey who have been feeling very lonely and left out, and as if they are the only ones who are having this experience. Through your comments, you can give support to other people also. And yes, you can also show support and love to this content by clicking on the super thanks button that YouTube has recently introduced for all the content creators and the people who love to listen to daily content or regular content On this note, I'm going to close this session. I will see you soon in another one. One love and peace out.